How long is this going to go on? Kenny sat on the other side of Carter's desk, leaning over it with a gleam of intense persecution in his eyes. He was not pleased with his regional alpha, not happy at all that he'd been secretly sneaking off every morning to couple with a she-wolf who was more human than lichen. He had been on his way to see Karen, a routine he had gotten into ever since she had arrived at Sky High Ranch, when Kenny came around the corner, grabbed him by the arm, and roughly dragged him back to his office. It would have been subordination if Carter hadn't been the one in the wrong. For as pissed off as he was at his beta, he knew that the man only had his best interest at heart. "You'll be lucky if I don't do it every morning until you're rid of her." Kenny's lips pulled back into a short snarl. "You didn't seem to have a problem with it when you found us together." Carter grabbed a stress ball from the top of his desk and reclined in his chair to squeeze it absent-mindedly. Even though Carter was the regional alpha, he could still feel his wolf bowing down to the beta out of respect. The man was older, wiser, and generally his voice of reason. Right now, Carter was acting like a stubborn child, but he knew it. He wanted Karen, and it didn't matter to him how dangerous it was to keep their tryst going on. It should matter. Politically, the regional alpha repeatedly mating with anyone less than a pure-blood werewolf was scandalous. The council might even kill him if he refused to give Karen up. "I didn't think this would be a regular thing." Kenny growled between clenched teeth before slamming his fist on the desk. "Damn it, Carter! Stop being so casual about this. Do you have any idea what kind of danger you'd be in if the other regionals found out?" Carter's eyes locked with Kenny's, the smallest tint of amber seeping out to show that his wolf was paying attention as well. "The other regionals won't find out." Even as he said it, though, he wasn't sure. Eventually, someone other than Kenny would catch him sneaking out of his quarters before hours. And while he liked to believe that his pack was loyal to him, there were always those who would see the opportunity to claim a position of power by outing him and ensuring his downfall. Not to mention the females in his pack were beginning to become bitter. "People are starting to talk. Let them talk." Carter flicked his wrist dismissively. "Are you really going to be willing to throw everything away for this woman?" Kenny sighed. "It's not going to get to that point, Kenny." He let his head fall to the side in annoyance. "Then you're going to send her away?" Carter traced his bottom lip with his tongue, wetting it. The thought of sending Karen away had never crossed his mind, now that he had an excuse to keep her. If she stayed with him, she'd be able to shift every full moon. He was convinced she'd be more lichen than she ever was before. He had even told her brother that, to keep him from coming to retrieve her. And while it was true, it wasn't the real reason he wanted her to stay with him. Carter just couldn't get enough of her. He was infatuated with her. "Not yet." He shook his head, lowering his gaze so that he wouldn't have to see the disappointment on Kenny's face. Kenny pointed a finger at him. "I've seen better men than you fall because of their arrogance, thinking they could get away with this or that. The council always finds out, Carter. They always do. And the consequences are rarely just a slap on the wrist." "What do you care?" Carter's anger flared, his eyes going full-blown amber in less than a fraction of a second. "Most likely you'll be the one to usurp me. Don't you want that?" All the life seemed to drain out of Kenny as he slumped back in his chair. The man looked hurt, like Carter had just punched him right in the chest and stole all of his breath. "You're like a little brother to me. All I want is to protect you. All I've ever wanted is to protect you." The wolf died down in Carter as regret took over. "I know. I'm sorry. I just don't know what to do. I don't want to give her up. I know. I can see it in your eyes when you talk about her." Kenny offered him a weak smile. "You can't be with her if you're dead, though."